Hi, this is Kevin Lee. In this video, I'd like to talk about the differences between an M3 and a broken wing butterfly. Well, in addition to that, I would also like to introduce to you a method that I use frequently. I call it the reductionist approach. This is an approach that I learned from my engineering days. Engineers like to break down complex systems or problems into simpler ones. We keep simplifying things until we get to a format that we're familiar with and is easier to analyze. So let me show you how that works for options. Now here I've got an M3, which is a regular butterfly, plus a deep in the money call. Whereas for a broken wing butterfly, it is nothing more than a regular butterfly plus a vertical spread. So if I set them side by side like this, I've got a M3 on one side, which is a regular butterfly here, plus the deep in the money call. And on this side, I've got a broken wing butterfly, which is the same regular butterfly plus a vertical spread. Since these two are identical, I can remove them from both sides. And what is remaining is a call versus a put spread. What this really means is that if we analyze the behavior of a deep in the money call versus a put vertical, we would understand the difference between an M3 and a broken wing butterfly. So let me show that to you in toss. Now I've got a regular butterfly here. If I add a call, that becomes an M3. If I add a put vertical, this is a broken wing butterfly. So if I remove this, I've got a vertical versus a call. So all I need to do is to understand the differences between these two. I would understand the difference between M3 and broken wing butterfly. So let's continue with this discussion. So what I've got here is the deep in the money call. And then I've got a put vertical here. I've splitted the long of the spread into 6 lots and 1 lot, so that I've got the same delta, which is a 79 delta here versus 79 delta for the deep in the money call. And if I put them together, this is what you see. And this picture shows the long call, which is the blue line, versus the vertical, which is the maroon line or the pink line. This is it. If you understand the difference from this chart, you will understand the difference between a broken wing butterfly and an M3. So if we look at it, if market moves way out in up front, we can see that the deep in the money call will outperform the spread. Likewise, on the downside, it is also flatter for the deep in the money call. However, this chart assumes that the IV is static, okay, and we know that IV is not static. So we need to have a different type of analysis. And also, when we trade M3 or broken wing butterfly, seldom do we look at the extreme swings. Therefore, we really ought to be looking at, let me get my pen, something plus minus 40 points, which is around here, up to here, right? And up to down here, something like that. So if we want to analyze the performance on the upside, what I need to do is to lower the volatility. Okay, I've lowered the volatility by 5 points here. Therefore, I should look at it from here to about here. What do you see? You see that the pink line bulges up. It outperforms the blue line. So that explains why a broken wing butterfly is more friendly to the upside, is more resilient to the upside. In addition to what you are seeing here, this graph shows you static IV. And in a previous round table, I've already shown you what the skew would do to a broken wing butterfly. It actually enhances it. So what you can expect is, in reality, when skew is taken into consideration, this pink line will probably go even higher. It will be like that. So that explains why the broken wing butterfly is more resilient to the upside. Now, what about the downside? So for the downside, what I did here is I increased the volatility by 5 points again. And let's analyze from at the money to about 40 points below, which is around probably here. Again, here you see that the blue line actually is floating above the pink line. And the blue line is the deep in the money call, which belongs to the M3. And this explains also our previous analysis of M3 being more resilient to the downside. And in addition to, and again, let me emphasize that this is based on static IV. When we put skew into the picture, sometimes we would get a steepening of the skew when market comes down. This is less frequent, but it does happen during market fear. And when the skew steepens, you can see that the increase in the volatility of options below the market, this is where the deep in the money call is actually higher than the increase in volatility of the put vertical spreads. So what you can expect from here is that in this kind of environment, the deep in the money call will actually outperform the vertical spread. Okay. In addition to that, let me show you something else, which is which will give you another perspective. Now, if I look at the Vega, if I look at the Vega and change this to volatility step, let's see what we got. Now, I'm looking at the call option. Look at the white line. This white line means that's the Vega for today. And I've put in volatility steps that is 5 percentage points up. It means that for every line on top of this, the volatility is increased by 5 points. And these few lines is showing you that as volatility goes up, the Vega increases. And that's good news. That's what you want in a down market. When market is going down, the call verticals Vega will continue to increase as implied volatility increase. In addition, as market goes down the strike, the Vega will go up this curve. So that is double positive. And that's the reason why that the people would like to buy out of the money put. Some people would like to buy way out of the money put and call it the black swan hedges. Why? Because put actually gives you exactly the same Vega curve as well. Let me show you. This is put, this is call. They're exactly the same. And put vertical has this, put options, out of the money put options will explode in its option value. A $1 put option, for example, once you get into market fear and market collapses, that $1 could become $30. And the reason for that is this increase in volatility and the increase in Vega as volatility goes up. This is what we call VOMA. This is it. VOMA is a change in option vega for a change in implied volatility. So it is great for the put option, and it is similarly great for the call option of an M3 butterfly. Now, let me be sure that I communicate correctly that I don't mean that when market goes down, the call option will make money. No, it will definitely lose money from delta. But what I'm saying is that from a vega perspective, the call option performs well when market goes down, and that helps the M3 butterfly. Now, when I look at the put vertical, on the other hand, you see that the color lines are below the white line. It means that VOMA is negative. It means that when volatility goes up, vega comes down. That is undesirable. And this the separation between the lines gets bigger as the market goes down. It means that VOMA becomes more and more negative. Although, as market goes down, you can see that the vega actually climbs up. However, it is climbing up from the blue line to the red line to the pink line. So it is inefficient from a vega perspective. That also explains why a broken wing butterfly performs poorly on the downside when there is a spike in implied volatility. So hopefully what I've shown you here are two things. One is the simplification of two complex positions, an M3 and a broken wing butterfly, down to a simple call versus a simple put spread. It is much easier to remember and to analyze a single call versus a put spread than analyzing a 3 to 4 legged structure. Especially when things are moving fast, it is much easier for your brain to process, hey, is broken wing butterfly better to the downside or the upside? To me, that works for me. I hope that works for you too. Second thing is that I'm showing you how to look at second order Greeks, and this is an example of the kind of analysis that you can do on your own using the TOS screen. So that's all for this video. I hope it has been useful.